If you haven't already, head over to my second channel where we do discussions, news, and all things NBA, and subscribe. How's it going, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. And again, as I mentioned in previous videos, 2K17 is close to coming out, so all the ideas for different challenges I can do here in my league have all been running out. But I decided to do this one, man. One question I got asked on Twitter the other day was, what NBA team do you think has the best players all time? And luckily for me, a guy named Professor 2K made a roster putting together the best players in each NBA team's history. And we're going to put it to the test. What team has the best players of all time? So I'll show you guys the roster. Here, Philadelphia 76ers, he created guys like Charles Barkley, guys like that who haven't been in the game in previous years, because Charles Barkley is one of the best ever, but he's never been in 2K, so he took it upon himself to add him to this roster. And you can just pause it anywhere you want if you want to see what player made what, and I'm going to be making predictions of what team I think is going to be the best, team I think is going to be the worst. And of course, I have no inside knowledge because it's 2K, man. 2K does some weird things there, so I could be completely wrong or I can be totally right. So you can pause the video anywhere you like, of course, as I mentioned, just to see. You see he also created Reggie Miller, which is really clutch because, you know, Reggie Miller hasn't been in 2K just yet. Let's hope that changes over time. So we're almost done here, and I don't know what team I think is going to have the best record. The easy answer would probably be a team like the Celtics or the Lakers, just because they've been around for such a long time. They're bound to have just incredible players. You can see Larry Bird, Bill Russell, Bob Cousy, John Havlicek. Like, these are legends. Like, well, I guess everybody in this roster is just legends, but these are some of the best legends of all time. Paul Pierce, and down here further we got Rondo, Kevin Garnett, and Ray Allen. So this is definitely a team. I can also say a team like the Lakers. Magic Johnson, Jerry West, Shaquille O'Neal, Kobe Bryant, LJ. This team is just ridiculous. George Mikan, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Like, this would be, if I had to pick a team, this is exactly the team I would go to. The worst player being this guy, Rudy LaRusso, who's way before my time, so I don't know much about him. But other than that, their team is just extremely solid. Now, when it comes to my potential prediction for the worst team, I may have to go with a team like the Raptors. Now, I'm thinking about this logically. The Raptors have been in the league since 1995, if I'm not mistaken, so a little over 20 years. So they don't have the experience as a team like some of the other teams I talked about. So if I had to pick a team, it may be them. But if I'm looking at this roster right, their team's actually really good for just having been in the league for 20 years. They got Vince Carter, Chris Bosh, which is just amazing in his prime. Kyle Lowry is pretty amazing right now. Same thing with DeMar DeRozan. Mike James had his times. Mike James is one of the best passers in NBA history if you look at his numbers. Dirk Christie, young development shooter. So they got a pretty solid team, but I would predict them to probably be one of the worst, along with like the Washington Wizards. If you just look at their team, they don't got much going on, at least in comparison to some of the other ones. So those are my predictions. Let's get to simming some games. We're gonna sim to the All-Star break, and I'll be back. So I failed to mention a couple seconds ago that I'm manually using the Chicago Bulls just because they're my favorite team. Don't think they're going to have the best record, but they got Jordan and Pippen, so maybe it's possible. But if we're taking a look at it here, it doesn't look like it. I turned off injuries and I turned off trades, so those two variables are down the drain in this experiment. There will be no exchanging of players, and there will be no big-time injuries. One thing I did keep on is fatigue, because, I mean, that's a normal part of life, right? People get tired all the time. And look at that. I just talked all the way up to the All-Star break. So you can see my Chicago Bulls not doing the best, 23-29. Let's take a look who's leading the league. The Boston Celtics, like I predicted, on top here. And then the Los Angeles Lakers on top in the West. So I predicted that. So let's see the worst teams here. The Memphis Grizzlies. I didn't take a look at their team, but I'm trying to think about some of the best players in Memphis Grizzly history. I can't think of pretty much anybody, so I'll go back and look at their team. And LeBron and the Cleveland Cavaliers are dead last in the East, and that makes a lot of sense because they really just have LeBron, really. But I was right when it comes to Toronto Raptors. The Washington Wizards aren't the worst, but they're on a 10-game losing streak right now. Wow, that's just terrible, really bad. Let's take a look at what team did I want to look at. The Memphis Grizzlies. I didn't really go in depth about their team, so let's take a look at theirs. They got Pau Gasol, Zach Randolph, Scottie Pippen's on here too because he did spend some time there. John Stockton spent some time there. Really? I don't know about that. I don't know how true that is. I don't know why he's on this roster. I think he spent all 19 years in Utah, but I could be wrong. Marc Gasol there, Mike Conley. This team is pretty bad. This team is pretty bad, so that makes a lot of sense when Courtney Lee is a part of your all-time team. Ouch. Take a look at the Cleveland Cavaliers too. So they got LeBron, they got Larry Nance Sr., Kyrie Irving, Mark Price, but after that, oh, they got Big Z, Big Ilgauskas, I mean, he wasn't like an all-time great, but he's just a fun player. Yeah, this team's actually pretty bad too. Jabari Parker's a part of this team for some reason. I guess they just signed him out of free agency. That's the only thing I can think of. They just signed him out of free agency. And Emmanuel Mudiay. Yeah, so those guys are probably picked up out of free agency. If we take a look at this signings, yeah, these guys like Brandon Ingram got signed, Emmanuel Mudiay, Ben Simmons, all these guys got signed. So that makes a lot of sense there. Who's leading the league in scoring? Tracy McGrady is leading the league in scoring with 26.9. I guess that Orlando Magic team don't really have many scores there. Then we have Moses Malone, we got Pete Maravich, John Havlicek, LeBron James. Guys like Michael Jordan aren't on this list because, I mean, he's got a lot of players to pass the ball to. A lot of different players, taking big-time shots. So that's why nobody's out here averaging like 30 because Jordan has to share the ball with Pippen, Rose, Artis Gilmore, Dennis Rodman. Well, I guess you don't have to share with Dennis Rodman because he's not going to score. Yeah, he's averaging about 3 points a game. But Jimmy Butler, Dwayne Wade now, yo. Is Dwayne Wade going to be considered an all-time great from Chicago? Now he's here. That's crazy. Ben Gordon. Yeah, so they got some guys to pass the ball to. So let's see who's leading in like assists and then rebound, and then we'll get to going. That's just my team. Let's go to all-time. Moses Malone there too, so he's probably in the running for MVP. I mean, he's almost leading the league in scoring, and he is leading the league in rebounding. Elvin Haynes second, Charles Barkley third. Let's go to assists. You got Jason Kidd, Chris Paul, Walt Frazier. Okay. So one last thing, I want to take a look at the award races. Magic Johnson leading the way. John Havlicek, Tracy McGrady, Shaquille O'Neal down there along with Moses Malone. As I thought, Rookie of the Year, LeBron James is... What? I don't know what that's about, but he's there. Patrick Ewing is there, and that seems very weird to me. So this roster is not perfect, but, you know, it is what it is. I mean, it's just for all in fun. It's all in good fun. Defensive Player of the Year here. Most improved. All right. Let's continue to go. Get into the playoffs. We see who has the best record and who has the best team of all time. So Tracy McGrady wins MVP. Rookie of the Year goes to Patrick Ewing. LeBron James wins Sixth Man of the Year. Moses Malone, Defensive Player of the Year. Paul Pierce wins Most Improved. Okay, Paul Pierce is in an Orlando Magic uniform. Again, this roster isn't perfect, but we're just here to have a little bit of fun. Brad Stevens wins Coach of the Year because I'm guessing they had the best record in the East. Let's take a look here. And they did by far, by 12 games. The next team in Eastern Conference, Orlando Magic, 12 games behind in second place. But the best team of all time, at least for the regular season, is the Los Angeles Lakers at 70-12. So here we are in the playoffs. My team didn't make it. Chicago Bulls didn't make it. But here we are simulating what team is going to win the championship. The Boston Celtics gets eliminated in the first round by the Indiana Pacers, man. Paul George and Reggie Miller. All right, so let's get into simulating the rest. Who's going to win the championship? Brooklyn is in the Eastern Conference Finals. All right. I mean, we're going to keep going. And for the championship game, it's going to be the Lakers versus the Knicks. The fifth seed making it all the way there. And here we are, and the Lakers just dominate. They lose a total of 3 games in the entire playoffs, so the Lakers probably have the best players in NBA history, or the best all-time team in NBA history. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to drop it a like. Here's the MVP, Magic Johnson, averaging close to a triple-double. Let me know different challenges you want to see in the future. It's been the King of the Fourth Quarter. Thank you so much for watching.